With us now for more is Angie Pacis, the CEO of AIA Investment Management Philippines. It's good seeing you again, Angie. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you. Happy to be here, Kathy.
It's been quite a ride in the markets this week, Angie. We started the week with the protest rallies from Quirino Grandstand to EDSA Monument, and then the cabinet revamp, and then the tariff reprieve from Trump. But people are still seething, demanding accountability and restitution. So how did the markets hold up against all that?
Okay, so we're seeing going forward, we just had a dead cat bounce today. So the uncertainty is actually going to have the market, we think, over the next year or so, seesawing with a downward bias.
Angie, I haven't
Hello.
heard dead
Yes.
cat bounce in a very
Yes.
long time. Is the cat
Yeah.
still alive? I mean, we've been
Yeah.
in this risk-off environment for the longest time. It was all about seeking havens, it seems. Would you characterize it that way with more than 11 months already lapsed in 2025?
Yes, remember when we started the year, right? First, it was with the uncertainty around the Trump presidency and how tariffs, his tariff policy will unfold, and it did happen. Not as bad, not as bad as everybody expected it to unfold. And now it's really the another corruption scandal that actually undermines the political stability, confidence, and more importantly, there's going to be a slowdown in growth in the next few quarters.
Well, let's pick up on that and take you through the chart you just gave us about an hour back. I've seen those gyrations there on the chart, and when you look very closely, you've pointed out the different scandals that we've faced since, I believe, 2008, 2009,
Yes.
when it got really terrible. Take us through
Yes.
it and what you're seeing beyond what we're seeing on this chart.
All right. So I would just like to remind the markets, this is the market, not necessarily the economy, that, what's happening now is not exactly new to the Philippine market. And this actually shows the behavior of the market after a big scandal like PDAF, like the pork barrel scam. Yes, there is an acute drawdown, but later on, actually, it does tend to recover. Mainly because there will be fundamental factors that will actually assert itself. Like in most cases, the market just gets so cheap that the valuations become compelling. Or sometimes there are tailwinds, like you have the VAT finally changing the trajectory of government revenue. So that's more or less it. So what I'm actually trying to point out here is, stick to the numbers and not the noise.
Right. Stick to the numbers, not the noise, but we don't even know the numbers. We have yet to take accounting of exactly
Yes.
what's happened. And when I look at the chart, the last time we had a big scandal that really worried the markets was the Formally scandal, just a couple of years back. But we hadn't even gone to that level. At what point would you say we've already hit bottom, that we're at
All
the
right.
cheapest point in the history of the PSEI?
All right. So I don't see the PSEI hitting our 2003 levels. I think it's just not the same economy. Your companies are better run. On the Pharmaly scandal, a lot of it, I think, has to do with the state of the economy then. That was actually COVID. So if you look at the downturn in the charts, it's really, I guess, more related to COVID than specifically to the Pharmaly scandal. But what we're waiting for right now is a catalyst that would actually suggest that the trajectory of growth is already changing. So right now, there's a lot of downgrades, and what might be the kicker there? What might change direction is you see actually the government making good on their promise to divert funds from government projects to aid to aid the consumer, and also foreign funds who started to look at the Philippines simply because it's starting to buzz in the radar as a value play.
It seems like it's going to be a hard carry for the Bangko Sentral. How much of a rate cut would it have to do, whether it's on the key policy rate or on the triple R, to buoy the economy?
All right. So the actions of the Bangko Sentral is still largely related to inflation targeting, more than actually propping up growth. Because growth actually puts demand pull inflation impulses. So I think they really have a lot of elbow room, right, with policy rates still high. I think they will continue. There's no hard target, but for as long as they feel that the inflation targeting band is at risk, it's 2% and 4%. Going below that is actually also not healthy. It's very difficult. Deflation is not good. I know we are sick and tired of inflation. Some people think, oh, deflation will be a relief, but deflation actually starts a vicious cycle. So they will cut for as long as they can afford to manage inflation, forward-looking inflation within the 2% to 4% band.
I know, deflation, and when that becomes a spiral, it becomes really difficult. I've lived in Japan to know that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bond funds, they've done pretty well this year, and it really shows how risk-off the environment had been. Your bond funds, though, have they reached a high year to date? Has that been sustained?
Yes. Actually, we've been overall our portfolios. We focus on the multi-asset portfolios, and what we've done is we've maximized the allocation on bonds. We've underweighted on equities, and of course we're also neutral now on cash because we're waiting for good prices. But we were also underweight on cash simply because we were anticipating that with the rate cuts, returns on cash will actually be lower. So yes, the outlook for Philippine bonds is actually good in the sense that inflation is low. There's a very high probability that the BSP will continue cutting rates. And another thing that's going for us is the potential inclusion of Philippine bonds into a regional bond index. So when that happens, if that happens, there's going to be a lot of liquidity flowing, and it's a very thin market. So that's actually going to lift bond prices.
Got that. We're still holding out for that that catalyst that you've been looking for. Thank you so much for your insights, Angie. Really appreciate how you've done up that chart and really taken us through all the scandals we've been through and how we survived it. Angie Pacis of AIA Investment Management Philippines.